Hello and welcome to my second episode of this podcast. Today, I'm answering, how long does it take to become fluent in a language? Well, it's really not that easy to answer that question, but let's give it a try. I think it depends on you. If you are able to understand this video without any need for subtitles, and you are still not fluent in English, then a good 6 months of pure dedication can do the trick. I'm not saying that this is the amount of time it takes to become fluent, but that this length of time should be just enough for someone in your level to become fluent. But before we move on, what is to be fluent? Or rather, what is to be fluent for you specifically? People study languages for many reasons. They might want to go into an English-speaking country for travel or work reasons. Some just want to have an additional language on their CV. Whatever your reason for studying a language is, you must always make sure you know exactly why you are doing it. Make a short list of reasons why you would like to be fluent in English or any other language. After defining your goal, it becomes much easier to know exactly how and what to focus on in terms of study material. Let's say you want to be a translator or interpreter of English and your native language. You will want to engage as much as possible with vocabulary of that specific field you will want to interpret or translate for. A medical interpreter will read a couple different books on the field of medicine in all the languages they will be working in. Try reading the same book in 2 different languages. It's important to give yourself time to improve slowly, because it might be a little difficult to memorize some words or sentences, but the more you work on them in spaced repetition form, the easier it becomes for you to get there. It's also important to read language grammar books and solve a lot of grammar exercises, because when you work with sensitive data, it is always a good idea to focus on accuracy. I made a video before speaking on why I think grammar isn't important. What I meant in that video is that grammar is important when you have a specific reason to study. But if you don't, then there are other ways you can absorb grammar without the tiresome effort. Now, that is just an example of how someone can define what they want in a language and work their way into getting it. But that isn't the most crucial part of this process. The most important part of this journey is the level of discipline you will pour into your work. After you write down the list of goals you have for your target language, you should have next to it a list detailing exactly how you will go about getting there. An example of this could be saying that I will study the language for 3 to 4 hours per day, focusing on speaking or listening for 5 days every week. If you're a little bit more obsessed, you could add a few more hours into that and also increase the frequency with which you engage with the material. I have heard people say that if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. I'm sure you are definitely not planning on failing. So, define what you want and plan for it so you can put in the work and be disciplined about it. If you have learned anything from me here, is that your level of discipline will determine the level of your results. So keep that in mind. And good luck. Please subscribe and leave me a like. See you on the next one. Until then, keep your focus.